Guys, where are we going to be putting Bruno Fernandes, in these Premier League conversations, midfield conversations, assist conversations, GOAT conversations? Dude, I don't know, man. It's starting to look a little different now because beginning of him coming to United, bro, obviously a lot of people were hyping him up coming from Sporting, doing very, very well at Sporting, obviously doing crazy, crazy numbers over at United, guys. I feel like over at United, Bruno has always been that pillar in the team, probably one of the best players every single season. A lot of people, especially the beginning of this season, were saying that Bruno has to leave because of their new signings. Mateo's coming in, they have, Sesko coming in, they have Mbeumo coming in. They're starting to say, maybe Casemiro should leave, and Casemiro is becoming one of, United's best players as well, man. Guys, there's so much going on at United, bro. I feel like Bruno cannot leave this team, especially because I think he has so much love. He wants to win with the team, especially, unfortunately, he has not been able to because of the poor decisions from the board as well, going into the team, coaches, players, etc. Nothing going his way, guys. We're gonna get right into it as well. Hopefully, you guys do enjoy the video. Start talking about, Bruno. A lot of talks going on as well over on Twitter and stuff like that. As I said, I think definitely Bruno is going to be a very, very special player. I think he's going to be in a lot of people's, maybe in their list, top 5, top 10 list, all times. I don't know, man. Midfield, maybe just attacking mid, specifically. There's also a lot of talk about him being better than KDB. Assist records are also being broken. You can see on the screen, man. Henry, and we have KDB, 20 assists as well in the Premier League alone, guys. I feel like for me, Bruno could have had, honestly, close to double. Why? I just feel like he's probably those guys that has one of the most chances created in the Premier League as well. Holds a record for that as well in the Premier League. Every single season, he's one of those guys. I've been seeing it as well, man. I think only one season, it was like Trent or something, just, chances created. I think Bruno is just like, if he had a right finisher, put Bruno on another team, put him at City, put him at, I don't even know where, man. I think honestly, the best, best team in the world, in the Premier League, probably, I would say City. You put Bruno on City, when maybe they got rid of KDB, they replaced him with Bruno, guys. I'm telling you right now, Bruno's assists wouldn't even be 20 this season. It would be like probably 35, 40. And I'm not gonna lie, man, that could be exaggerated. Some people would say, yo, Christian, bro, that's kind of too much. Like, there's no way yapping, bro. If you have United with a proper 9, I feel like Sesko, he kind of picked up some form a little bit later on in the season. At the beginning, he was horrible. Even Zerski, don't even get started with Zerski, guys. They had to get rid of Haaland. He had a lot of striker problems at United, bro. How many striker problems did they have? Especially even like before, a few years ago with Ronaldo. It was a lot of that, that Ten Hag beef as well. Ronaldo left. The strikers have never been that good. I feel like if Bruno just had a proper 9 at United, this guy's assist records could be 40 plus. I think just because of maybe better competitions as well, man. Like, I feel like he's just too good for the team, and I think even if you put like Bruno even outside the Premier League, throw him at Madrid, where I definitely think that would be a good spot for him, especially because of how poor Jude Bellingham has been, especially he's being moved back from like a false 9, maybe down to like an 8 role as well. Like, I feel like if you put Bruno in that team playing balls, either Vinny, Mbappe, or even throwing him at Barcelona, I didn't even have a problem. But I think that he's just a little bit better than I think a lot of people think. I think a lot of people also do like the Pedri shouts as well, which I don't think is it's bad. I think Pedri's definitely a really good player, but I think Bruno is a little underrated because he's playing at United. Obviously, a lot of eyes on a player like him because you're playing at one of the biggest teams in the world. Crazy PR, in Barca, you have Madrid, you have maybe other Prem teams, maybe Liverpool, but I think the biggest one is going to be obviously United. Like, City's kind of more recent bias, but I think honestly, it's like, obviously United, there's more United fans in the world than there is any other Premier League team. It's a fact. Obviously La Liga, it's Barca, Madrid. These teams, man, have the greatest PR, especially for players. You make a mistake, obviously everyone's gonna notice, everyone's gonna see, guys. Any of these lower tier clubs, like not as big, not as crazy, not as popular in other countries. I think for me, like Bruno playing at these bigger teams, I think you get more recognition. Obviously playing at United, how poor they've been, I think like him just being there at the team kind of slows him down a little bit, especially with these 20 assists, man. Obviously it's very, very impressive, man. I mean, I don't like what I do see all this open play, guys. An assist is an assist, bro. I do not care if it's from a corner, from a set piece. It doesn't matter, bro. An assist is an assist at the end of the day. Same thing with goals. If a goal comes from a penalty or a goal comes from open play or a tap in or whatever, it doesn't matter, bro. At the end of the day, the ball has to go in the back of the net. A ball has to be played to a winger or someone. A ball has to be played to somebody to score. So I think Bruno just being one of those creative players, like, I don't know why it's a bad thing of it being open play or not. I think it's a ridiculous take to say. I think a lot of other past players, like Vieira, was at him talking down upon Bruno and maybe giving more praise to Declan Rice. Guys, I feel like Declan Rice, obviously being in the Premier, guys, Arsenal, whatever you guys think about Arsenal, guys, Arsenal are in a lot of Premier League race, whether they win it or not. They're in the race again, second, maybe, whatever, we don't know. Champions League as well. They also play the Champions League, guys. Like United are not there. And this is what I keep talking about. My point about if Bruno was playing on better teams. I don't think Bruno, he is better than, Manchester United are right now in their current state 100%. If you're talking about maybe United like maybe 10, 15 years ago, maybe there's different conversations because the team was actually good. They're battling, Champions League. They're battling for the league. Bro, United are just not that team anymore. So I feel like Bruno might be too good for the team and he's one of their best players. And I think a lot of people were even talking about him leaving. And I think that's a huge mistake. But again, that's what I'm seeing a lot, man. I feel like Bruno could have broken his record easily long time ago if he just had a proper 9 as well at that team. Obviously not in crazy shouts because United aren't really competing for anything. They had a horrible season last year, guys. They're almost relegated. But like what's going on with Spurs? And Spurs actually are going to get relegated. I've been saying it from the beginning, man. Even before the new year, I've been saying Spurs are going to get relegated, bro. Not winning games. How long can you go without winning a game and not get relegated? But besides that point, United were like that last season and they kind of turned it around. Obviously managers coming in, coming out, whatever. But Bruno's always been there. He's probably been one of their best players. And for people to turn their back on Bruno, guys, I can't believe what I was seeing, man. Like Bruno's their best player. But anyways, move on. I do want to see this, guys, like I was saying, with the most chances in the Premier League. Guys, this is the past 6 seasons, bro. So this season, 107 chances created, guys. And you look at maybe how many goals that United have scored this season, how many wins. They're still in a top 5 race. So I feel like, obviously he's doing a big, making a big impact at that team. Last season, 91, 113, 2 seasons ago, 117, guys. Like, look at the numbers, man. And obviously you have 2021, 2022, you have Trent cooking as well, man, obviously before he went to Madrid, but then you have Bruno again, 95. Guys, the past 6 years, you have Bruno 5 out of 6 times. Obviously Trent balling out of his mind, obviously Liverpool being an absolute dominant team as well in the Premier League, but Bruno Fernandes, bro, obviously again, look at these, where did Bruno and United win the league? It's not there. He's too good for this team, bro. All these chances created, they have no striker, no attack, they get barely score from his chances. Dude, I feel like United just have to get, like, I don't know, man, they have to get a proper 9. Sesko maybe turning it around, maybe they get a proper manager, maybe get something a little bit better out of him to score more goals. Like, I feel like Bruno is not the problem. So I feel like he's cooking. Obviously, you guys know he's cooking. He's putting up these numbers. For people to maybe to take away from his accomplishment in the Premier League, especially at Manchester United, I don't know what all that's about. Makes no sense to me, man. Because obviously you do know there are maybe a little bit more bias towards other players, like maybe Declan or maybe for KDB, the KDB shouts. I know, like, for me, I will always advocate for KDB, but Bruno's definitely making a name for himself, and you could definitely have that conversation about maybe Bruno being a little bit better. But for me, I feel like you cannot have stats without trophies, and you do see KDB that has both. I think that's definitely one of the main things for me, man, when you talk about Bruno and Kevin De Bruyne, because, dude, Kevin De Bruyne cooked in the Premier League, won the league multiple times, won the Champions League. Guys, Manchester United, with Bruno, haven't won the league, haven't won Champions League, haven't won Europa League. Guys, it's just like, I feel like Bruno just has to win trophies. If he wants to put his name above KDB, he has to win something with United. And if he wants to put his name, maybe higher on the list of all time, not even just in the Premier League, he has to leave United, go to a big team. Obviously, like maybe Madrid, that could be a big shout. Maybe Barca could be a nice shout as well, man. Maybe other big teams, I'm not too sure. City, I feel like City has a bad name. I wouldn't even go there. Maybe Bundesliga, man. You're getting a lot of good shouts from Harry Kane, Olise, like these guys over at Bayern cooking as well. I feel like maybe if you went to Bayern, that could be an insane shout as well, going over there to Germany. Obviously, pretty decent league again. Obviously, these are all going to make sense at the end of the day of him making, proper, making assists, maybe scoring more goals. I think he has the same amount of goals tied with Eze right now as of making this video. So I feel like his job as an attacking mid is to make the pass, make assists. You guys can see from his chances created, guys, over 100, chances created in the Premier League in this season multiple times. That's not easy to do, bro. If it was, a lot of people would be doing it. A lot of people would be on the list, but they're not. So it's him, Bruno cooking on his ones, man, by himself. He's cooking, bro. I think him, and maybe in the Bundesliga would be a really, really good shout, or maybe like Madrid or something that definitely needs like someone to play make a lot. I feel like that team has a big like ego problem, and they kind of just play. We're on the pitch. Let's just see what happens. I feel like they don't really have an order at that team, especially with not really a proper coach. So maybe if they get a proper coach, I did see Mourinho maybe going to Madrid. You do that. You bring in Bruno. That could be a good shout, I think. Obviously, playing with maybe Vinny stays, Mbappe, maybe a proper 9 comes and Mbappe plays on the wing. He could do a little bit better. We don't know. And maybe Champions League, maybe Ballon Ballon d'Or shouts. I have no idea. But even with, like, you know, continuing on with that, you see his stats in all comps this season, bro. 40 games, 33 goals and assists, 11 goals, 22 assists, guys. Like, this is all comps. I mean, all the comps were like, what, like cup games, stuff like that, nothing else. He didn't really have anything because of last season being absolutely garbage. But guys, Bruno playing at this poor United team, and he's just absolutely cooking still, bro. Like, I feel like how no one's looking at him and picking him up. If I'm United, I would be scared to lose one of your greatest playmakers in the team in a long time. Like, I feel like there has not been a really impactful player in the midfield at United since who? Maybe Pogba. Pogba was, I mean, obviously, riddled, you know, maybe some injuries, stuff like that. I mean, he was up there, but influence on that team, Pogba was definitely up there. Like, who else would you really give shouts to for Pogba or for United? Like, what really shouts are you making for United other than like maybe Pogba, maybe Bruno? And these guys are probably the most influential midfielders in that team, 100%, bro. Like, what are you gonna say, Jesse Lingard? Who are you gonna say, bro? Mason Mount? Like, guys, the past few years hasn't really been too crazy. So I think for me, like, Bruno is that guy. He's really good. If United do not build around him properly, he might leave. I think it's definitely going to be very, very dangerous, you know, going into next season and seasons to come as well. I think also here, like, Bruno and KDB, like I said before, guys, like, again, like, it's definitely close. Like, you definitely see the games, obviously less games, you know, KDB has less games, less goals, but more assists. Obviously, this is from 2020 February for both. And guys, like, Bruno Fernandes, you can always compare the last 6 years. Like, City's team has always been better than United's team, despite whatever, you know, maybe United beating City as well this season as well, past seasons, whatever. Guys, at the end of the day, City were competing for the league, winning the league, going to Champions League, winning the Champions League, and what were United doing, bro? Failing to get top 5, you know, not selling in the Europa League, selling Europa League final. I think Bruno, just like, he's, like I said before, bro, best player on that team, one of the best midfielders in the team, best midfielder. You can definitely make him, you know, maybe a conversation of him being one of the greatest midfielders in the Premier League of all time, but I would say that only if Bruno can win a trophy or multiple proper trophies. I don't care about Caribou Cups. I don't care about these. Like, these trophies are minimal. These trophies do not mean anything when you're a club like Manchester United. You're a big club. These clubs are minimal. You don't care. Do not lower your standards as a club when you're Manchester United, one of the greatest influential clubs of all time, going from high highs, bro. Do not start, you know, saying, oh yeah, we're at our low and we're gonna settle here, guys. Never settle, bro. As a Juventus fan, I hate where my team's at when I know how high my team has been, probably a top 5 club of all time historically, and now look where we're at, bro. We're battling for top 4 every single year, nothing going on. I hate where my team is at. I will never settle for Europa League, Conference League, nothing, because I know where my club stature is at. United fans should do the same. Guys, let me know down below what you guys think of Bruno. Maybe what conversation you guys want to put Bruno in. Maybe, you know, what kind of shouts you're giving him. Maybe should he leave United, should he stay? No idea, guys. Let me down below in the comments. I love y'all, man. If you guys did enjoy, drop a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next video, man. Peace. Later.